Hello, everyone. My name is Alex Coleman. I am the Director of Fiscal Services here at Pentacle.
And my name is Kimberly Marcotte. I am a program administrator and I run the Unique Projects program here at Pentacle.
I believe we are going to begin by hearing a few words from Randy.
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Randy Berry. For those of you that I don't know, I am the Executive Director of the Indie Theater Fund. The Indie Theater Fund is a consortium of companies and venues that gives grants to the indie theater community and also supports the indie theater community through community resources like deals with an organization like Pentacle, subsidized rehearsal space, and other professional development opportunities. So the Indie Theater Fund is really excited to partner with Pentacle on fiscal sponsorship and other services that Pentacle provides. We get the question quite a bit. Should we be a fiscally sponsored artist, or should we go ahead and create our own 501c3? I've created 4 501c3s, so I understand the hesitation. It's a huge process, and it is a kind of a feat to maintain your 501c3 status. So I thought this was an important partnership, that we were looking for an organization that we could push our kind of companies towards, that is truly supportive of the entire community, understands what our people need as far as back-end resources and whatnot. So I'm looking forward to hearing more about Pentacle's services and how the Indie Theater Fund can work together with you in the future.
Perfect. Thanks, Randy. So now we're going to begin by giving just a brief presentation on a background of Pentacle, and we'll work through what a 501c3 organization is, and then what fiscal sponsorship is. And then we'll sort of give you our responses to those questions by telling you a little bit about our programming here at Pentacle. All right, just a brief introduction for what Pentacle is. Pentacle is an arts administration organization that's located here in New York City. We provide administrative support for many different artists in the area, as well as across the country. A few of the departments that we have here at Pentacle include our fiscal department, as well as our booking department. So we provide additional support for administrative support for other organizations, as well as working with education and outreach throughout some New York schools in the area. Pentacle has over 40 years of experience in the industry, servicing emerging artists as well as established artists. I've also included our mission here, which is essentially to design and provide unique and robust programs for performing artists at critical stages in their careers. And now Kim will tell us just a little bit about Unique Projects.
Yeah, so Unique Projects Incorporated is one of the fiscal sponsorship programs that we offer here at Pentacle. It was created back in 1908, and it is the most basic, sorry, 1980, a little dyslexia there. And Unique's mission is to serve the performing arts community, in which it functions as a crucial link between the artists who are embarking on projects and those individuals, corporations, and foundations that are interested in supporting your artistic creativity and works.
All right, so a little bit about 501c3 organizations versus fiscal sponsorship. So who are these artists who are going to get incorporated as a 501c3? These are artists who generally have projects that include funding. Their programs have a track record that is can be tracked over a few years. They have a board, administrative, and financial staff in place. So they're a little more established than emerging artists. So the first step in order to get a 501c3 is, of course, to contact a lawyer. They will be able to set you up on the right track and make sure that you have everything organized in order to become the 501c3. I've included just a few of the application forms that I've listed right here. But the most important part is a 501c3 is governed by articles and bylaws. and has a board of directors who is fiscally responsible for the organization. And as Randy said, generally becoming a 501c3 does involve a lot more paperwork. The administrative burden is much greater than not becoming incorporated. There includes an audit that the 501c3 organization has to go through every year in order to maintain their status. And of course, there are additional fees, including attorney fees, filing fees, and incorporation fees that go along with this. And so what is the flip side of that is the fiscal sponsorship. So who gets fiscally sponsored? So these are going to be the emerging artists, but don't necessarily need to be emerging artists. It could be anyone who is not incorporated as a 501c3. So what would be the first step of getting fiscal sponsorship? So the first step is finding a fiscal sponsor and essentially beginning the application process with that sponsor. So the application forms are going to vary depending on which sponsor you're working with. It generally involves a contract and then a letter of agreement that essentially details the relationship. And these are what is going to govern your relationship with that sponsor. And so depending on what sort of benefits you're getting from the sponsor, the costs are going to vary. So there's many different types of fiscal sponsorship. It can be anything from just providing a 501c3 umbrella to organizations who are not incorporated, or it can become more comprehensive and include a bookkeeping component or even payroll administration.
So let's go ahead and talk about Unique Projects, which is the fiscal sponsorship program in which we will be partnering with Indie Theater Fund. Unique Projects is what we like to call the bare bones of fiscal sponsorship. So you are falling under that 501c3 umbrella that Unique Projects is offering. And so the benefits as a not-for-profit entity are available to you as a fiscally sponsored artist. That includes the tax-deductible donations that you'll be offering to your donors. You'll be eligible to apply for corporate and foundation funding and other certain grants, such as some government grants as well. You'll also be able to pay the discounted studio space rates where they are available. And you will also have access to materials for the arts through your fiscal sponsorship with Unique Projects. Like Alex said, every fiscal sponsorship organization is different. Some will carry some membership fees monthly or annually. At Unique, there is no membership fee. The only cost would be the small percentage on your gross income of the funds that will be coming into Unique and dispersed to you. And so as an unincorporated artist, it'll be 5.5% of any income. And if you are incorporated, if you are an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, etc., that fee would be 7.5%. And in order to get started under Unique Projects, we have an interview form, which will be available to you in a website link, which Randy, I'm sure, will be able to provide after this presentation and webinar. Another program that is available to you, that's the next level, is Unique Plus. This is all of the benefits of Unique, as I aforementioned, plus a bookkeeping component. So this includes monthly fiscal reports, 1099 tax form preparation and mailing to all of your independent contractors. And you have a relationship with the fiscal associate. So Unique Plus and how that operates, it's a monthly basis check-in in which the fiscal associate has access to your online banking, extracts all of your transactions for the month, and you will be providing the coding for all of those transactions for the fiscal associate to enter into QuickBooks, which is what we use here, to generate your gorgeous fiscal reports and submit your monthly reporting on like a P&L and your check register. And so that kind of keeps you organized in a business manner. The cost for Unique Plus is a little different. The sponsorship fee of all incoming funds will be 5%. And there is also an annual bookkeeping fee based on all of the income that you're receiving throughout the year. And that is billed on a quarterly basis, which I'll go ahead and break down those in the next slide. The great news is that as an Indie Theater Fund member, you receive a $500 discount on the annual bookkeeping fee. And so here is our layout of the income bracket. So depending on what your annual income or anticipated income for the year is, that determines your annual fee schedule. So for example, if you have an annual budget with an income of $50,000, you'll be falling into that second bracket of the $40,001 to $60,000. And so as an Indie Theater Fund member, your annual fee would be $1,500 for the year. And that's broken down by 4 quarterly payments.
All right, and that essentially ends our overview of Unique and Unique Plus. So we're going to stop the presentation here and open it up for some questions.
So we have a question here asking, will you also prepare financial documents for grants? The answer is depends on a case-by-case basis. If you are a Unique Plus member, I would say that yes, that is most definitely possible because it is a part of your bookkeeping component of your sponsorship. If you are just the basic Unique Projects member, yes, it is possible. It might be available at a small additional fee. With Unique Projects, as I said, we are bare bones of fiscal sponsorship. So any additional services might be available at a very small fee. Such as the grant preparation, consulting for grants or budgeting.
Yes, if we already have access to your books, that just makes it even more easy for us to be able to fill out certain grant information that they would need.
Mm-hmm. Another question is, with Plus, I'm clear that your fees for incoming money goes down to 5%, and then you have the bookkeeping fee on top of that? Yes, that is correct. So the small percentage is your fiscal sponsorship fee. That is essentially the utilization of the 501c3 status. And the additional bookkeeping fee, so the income bracket that was shown on the second to last slide, is for the bookkeeping part of the sponsorship. Is the bracket based on actual income? It's your income in your account, your checking account, over the course of the year. So it is something to be mindful of. As we know, as artists, we are sometimes project to project. Money becomes a little tight, and some directors will transfer money into the account. So that is something to be mindful of, that will be considered a part of your income, as that is something that will be continued to be tracked within the bookkeeping program.
What public funds, city, state, in New York are small companies eligible for? There are many grants and funds that are available for all sizes of dance and theater performance companies here in New York. You can probably go to your local listings that will show you various grants, and they will list exactly the requirements that each one is available for. So that would be a good place to start on a local level.
Yeah. Again, for basic Unique, it's a little more hands-off as far as it's whatever is received into Unique that we would really be touching, so that we can receive that income into Unique's account. The small percentage is kept, and then the rest is re-granted directly into your checking account. For Unique Plus, it is a little more hands-on, as we would need access to your online banking for your business checking account, which is important that it's a separate business checking, so that we can go ahead and extract the account activity and be able to allocate and code that within the QuickBooks. The other part would be the fundraising. Crowdfunding campaigns are actually very popular and successful within the fiscal sponsorship. So for establishing the crowdfunding campaign, we ask that at least 14 days prior to the launch date that we're provided with the campaign login credentials, so that the fiscal associate can log into your crowdfunding platform and just review everything and make sure that you're properly listing your fiscal sponsor. Some platforms ask for the banking info, in which that banking info should be Unique's bank account, since that is the 501c3, so that all donations that are received through your crowdfunding campaign are eligible for those tax-exempt donation letters.
And the same applies for when you're applying for grants. So when you're filling out the grant application, we would just need to review that just to verify that Unique's information is displayed correctly.
Yep.
So our fiscal admin services are available for those artists who already have incorporated as a 501c3. So as a 501c3, as we talked about earlier in the presentation, you actually require another level of administrative support. So what we provide for fiscal administration companies are payroll services, as well as bill payment, tracking accounts payable, as well as accounts receivable, annual audit help. So as a 501c3, you are required to have an annual audit. So you would have a dedicated administrator who would be assigned to your account, who would be helping act as an intermediary between your chosen accountant and your representative for the audit purposes. And so that one additional thing that goes along with that is filing the tax forms at the end of the year. So that's providing the 1099 as well as W-2 support that needs to go out to your employees and vendors that you've paid throughout the year.
Mm-hmm. Within fiscal sponsorship, as far as the tax forms go, within Unique Plus, since it has that bookkeeping component, we will be prepping and mailing your 1099s for those independent contractors that you had paid over the course of the year. As far as the actual filing, no, that will not be provided through Unique Projects. However, on the monthly basis, you'll be provided those financial reports, and those can be great tools to provide to your personal accountant when you are doing your end-of-year taxes.
It looks like that's our last question. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And if you need any additional information or you want to look us up, the website to go to is pentacle.org. And both Kim and my contact information is listed on that website, as well as a listing of all of our other programs that we offer here at Pentacle.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.